Hello, everyone.
Hola.
Hola from Cancun, Mexico. I have a very, very special guest for y'all today. My beautiful goddess sister, Rima.
Hola.
So, first of all, we're bougie as a mother with our shades on, but we're twinning with our glasses. So, how are you, my beautiful sister?
Fantastico. We're in Mexico.
How has your vacation been so far?
It's been great.
Can we have a moment? My glasses are crooked.
Well, it's okay. Mine's missing a rhinestone. So we may be bougie, but we're a little ghetto too. It's okay.
So this is the look that I picked for today's interview, okay?
Shall we take them off?
We shall.
Okay.
Okay, so I am starting a conversation with Rima.
Yeah.
So weird to call you that.
Well,
I call her my love, my boo-boo, and all these other little things. But we're going to actually talk today about Ascension as a single mom. And she is obviously a single mom. That's why I'm talking to her. She's probably one of my, biggest heroes right now because what she does, just alone and what she's been through the last few years, she needs multiple crowns. And God bless you.
You're so adorable.
Her daughter's here with us on vacation. I'm like, bye! See ya!
It's so true. She's like, bye, Anna. That's her name.
So, yeah, multiple crowns to you, honestly.
Thanks,
And
baby.
the thing is, the reason why we decided to come here and do this conversation is because Mexico is very special to us. We both basically started a very spiritual journey together here in Mexico.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to ask you to do first is just introduce yourself a little bit and what you want people to know about you.
Okay. My name is Rima. I'm Michelle's sister.
That's very good.
Really, I'm just a single mom. There's no labels, really. I'm just a woman who's trying to find herself and live in this world full of authenticity, love, and hope, and trying to just get through each day. But recently discovered my new self. I've just been introduced to the new me, and I'm just feeling really good. I feel free. I feel happy, inspired. And Michelle and I started this journey together 3 years ago.
Yes.
In Mexico. So it's almost like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful experience that we're experiencing it together. And then she gets to interview me. So I feel honored. So you deserve multiple crowns too. So
that's sweet.
ting
And
ting.
the thing is, it's for me, talking to you today, it's really to inspire. If we can inspire one person, especially as a single parent, this goes for mothers and fathers. Obviously, there's no discrimination. Take it as it resonates, but it's really to help with information and healing. And the title of today's video is Ascension, but also healing with children and how you involve your child in the process of the spiritual journey and the awakening. So, first off, let's have a cheers. Salute, I love you.
I love you.
And this is mojitos, by the way.
And they're strong.
So, this is how the video inspiration is going to go, guys. Okay? I can't be professional with her. There's no way that's going to happen. So, we have a little entertainment for you and then some information.
Okay.
So, let's talk a little bit about your ascension and your awakening.
My recent ascension and awakening?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it takes a process to get there. So shouldn't I just talk about the process first, or you want to talk about what recently has happened to
No,
me?
I want to know what recently happened.
Okay. Well, I have recently realized that my ego almost no longer exists. And as soon as I diminished my ego, I realized that I am now in the present moment as myself, me, who feels super powerful with God. I am no longer searching for anything from anyone but myself. So I've recently experienced self-love, which is a very beautiful feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult. There were struggles to get there, but as soon as you truly believe in love within and trust your own self and your own intuition, your instincts, you then realize that there's nothing more in life but joy. And once you trust the present moment and know that the higher power has your back,
Facts.
and that you lose the sight of fear, you realize that bliss is just around the corner. So every day I just feel blissful, and the ego stops by once in a while, and I'm like, hey, don't be knocking on my door. And sometimes my vibe is off, but I recognize it, and that's the best thing, right? Is when you recognize that your ego is there and that it does not consume you. You sit with the feelings and then you move on. But my recent ascension was basically that, living in the present moment, diminishing the fear, and welcoming self-love.
Which is really beautiful. And the reason why I asked you to start with the present, because I always say the past really doesn't exist, especially when you're on a spiritual journey and you're elevating into purpose and mission.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the past is there for a reason, but at the same time, it no longer exists, especially when you had, for example, Rima just had her Kundalini experience of awakening, which was also pretty dope. She's so silly, I love her. So, yes, and she's Ariel from The Little Mermaid, which...
with a little Egyptian vibe.
Yes. So the reason why I asked you that, because I want to know what your present vibes are. But let's touch base in regards to being a single mom as well.
Okay.
And how that's affected your journey with Anna.
Okay. It was a difficult process, I won't lie.
Yeah.
When I became a single mom, I had to learn a new way of living. It's difficult. You're on your own. But not only that, you're splitting time with someone you had recently had a relationship with.
Yeah.
And the vibe was not very good in my case. But we made it work. But as a single mom, I realized, and this was the biggest realization really, I used to put my daughter first. And because of that, I always felt her pain. And the only way you could ever live your life really is to put yourself first. And you can't love anyone or give to anyone without loving yourself first.
Very true.
And that was the biggest lesson for me, because the days that she wasn't with me, I was suffering tremendously, to a point where I was numbing myself and trying to get out of the house, and I wasn't really putting myself first. I was actually hurting myself more. So there was a moment where I was on the floor crying, and I think that's your awakening experience is when you have to make a choice. You make a choice if you're going to continue suffering, or you're gonna change.
Absolutely.
And that day, I couldn't get a hold of the school. Called me, and it was a snowy day, and they said Anna wasn't at school. I couldn't get a hold of her father. And only the worst was going through my mind. And at that moment, I was in so much agony. And I realized I can't feel like this anymore. I have to do something. So I took avenues like therapy and reading books to find out that I cannot control or I can't stress about what is not in my control.
Sure.
And I can only hope that things will happen the way it's supposed to and pray that there's protection over her. So that was really the start of my journey.
Yeah.
And with that, I realized that I had to live wholeheartedly and teach my daughter that I have to love myself first, as she should love herself first. I am not perfect. I am going to make mistakes. Lord, I have made mistakes.
Well, we are a spiritual being. We are a spiritual being living a human experience. So that obviously is very true. And the moment that you were on the floor crying, I call it, and we call it in, people who read tarot and read cards, we call it the dark night of the soul. And that was the moment. And that's probably when you faced all your fears. Because you were saying, like, all the worst things were coming to your head. Now, just quickly, I'm going to touch base on this, guys, and, take it as it resonates. But I think it's important because even if you're not a parent, we do experience this. But do you think a lot of that fear process was, excuse me, throat chakra activation? I'm talking the truth here. A lot about past traumas and, childhood abandonment issues and things that have to be healed from this timeline and others?
Of course.
Okay.
The thing is, I didn't know who I was. You're only conditioned to feel or think a certain way.
Yeah.
And when you're raised in an environment that is different than most, you only fear what you're taught, really, right?
It's true.
And I truly didn't believe. I was really much in my fear, always.
Yeah.
And consumed with darkness. And people think darkness is evil and somewhat, but it isn't. I mean, I feel the negative ego takes over, and that to me is darkness, and all I felt was fear and worry, and it put me into depression and sadness and weakness, and I couldn't be that role model for her. I had to change. And for me, my daughter is what taught me true love.
Very true.
And
Very true.
how am I going to teach her true love if I don't even give it to myself?
Amen. Okay. Amen to that. Because the thing is, even, people going into relationships expect other people to love you. But now imagine having a child and expecting a child to love you unconditionally, but you really don't know how to unconditionally love yourself.
Right.
So that's a really beautiful point.
Yeah.
Now, talking about that, and also having your dark night of the soul and your ascension, how did you go about bringing Anna into this? First of all, I have to tell you, Anna is also a very spiritual child. The moment she was born, I knew she was a crystal child, so she already was tapped in. And obviously, when you get older, you lose that spiritual side, but she's still very much connected, and I do believe it's because of you.
It is.
Facts. Big facts. So how do you go about, for people who have this journey and it's their calling, but they're having a little bit of a harder time bringing their kids into it? Can you just share a little bit of your experience, how to do it?
I would love to, and thanks for asking that question, because it's very,
You're welcome,
very important. Anyway, that's the best $5 she's ever got. So, really, we are raised to teach our children like fear, like I am the superior, and you have to listen to me. And sometimes we want our kids to do what we wish that we can do, right? Mm-hmm. But with me and Anna, I realized that she is a special soul, and she has her own journey. And when she was born, she did things that were different than others, and I always try to talk to her about it. We're very open. We like to have discussions, and she shares when she wants to, and when she has those experiences, I'm very open to listening and supporting her. But what happened? Did you put mint in your mouth? Like, we're trying to be serious here, Michelle.
Sorry.
Which is so weird. I'm not going to call you that anymore. I call her Michigan. Like, let's be real, okay? No one else can call her that, though, just me. Anyway, as parents, we really do have to recognize, it's just jokes, that each child has their own soul and their own journey.
True. We
are here to learn from them. They are here to learn from us. But we are here to give them the tools they need to get through their journey. Yeah. So the way I parented her was through a wholehearted parenting, which basically means that we are allowed to be vulnerable. We are allowed to be open. We show no shame or what's that word? Like, I don't want to say the wrong word.
No, shame makes sense. Like shame.
We don't want to discourage, right? So the way I raise Anna is that you are allowed to say whatever you want as long as there's respect. Now, let's keep in mind sometimes there isn't some respect, but she is allowed to say what she wants as long as there is respect. But this is where it gets hard, because sometimes, like for example now, I'll ask her to do something and she'll say no. And usually we're like, what did you say? Like, how can you say no to me? But the way I'm thinking now is if she is saying no and she doesn't want to, what happens in the future when she wants to say no, but she has been now conditioned, she's not allowed to say no?
Well, yeah, it's definitely double-sided, because you're trying to have her to have the freedom of one's mind in this society. And then on the other side, she's just so hard because she's so convicted in her answer, which is beautiful. But being a child, I can see the challenge there.
There is a challenge, but my biggest biggest teaching to her is to be confident and to love herself.
Very true.
I don't care about anything else, and that child has self-love and confidence.
That she does.
That will get her through the years ahead, and that's all that matters.
And I believe also it's that mirror image. Like, when we were talking about, my channel, Divine's Purpose, is really about twin flames and divine partners. And it's all about that mirroring. But that's the same concept when you're raising a child. Yeah. Like, you are their mirror.
Example. You lead by example.
Yeah, you are their mirror. So it's like everything that you're doing, she's doing. So that's really beautiful, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, in my opinion. And I also want to ask you a question raising her. What was the most challenging part of raising her?
Going through my own battles and trying to be strong for her. Like, that was very difficult. There were moments where I had to get through her emotions and her battles of separation and different, like a different way of living.
Yeah.
And as she was going through those emotions, I was going through mine, and I made it very clear that I would ensure that she would have consistency until she gets to a place of happiness, and to teach her that we can't keep fearing what could be. Like, I mean, in her head, she wanted her mommy and daddy back together, right?
Yeah.
And that's all she wanted. And at one point, I said to her, you know what? At this point, you can hold on to this, and you can hold on to it and be angry and upset, or you can let go and accept it and be happy.
Well, yeah, because you don't want her to hold on to false hope.
Right.
Because that's what she was holding on to.
She was holding on to false hope, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it just won't happen. And so for me, it was just to be consistent and be as strong as I could. And there were days that I had breakdowns, and then it was okay because I showed her, you know, there are days where mommy is not doing well, and this is why. And I'm sorry if you feel that I've hurt your feelings, but let me tell you how I can get through it. So these are the tools that I teach her by example.
Yeah, communication first and foremost.
But that was challenging. But her really being away from me was the hardest part, right? And so just being strong when I'm on the phone with her and just showing her that, you know, everything will be okay and we'll get through it together. So.
And the reason why I ask that is because I have actually a few clients that I do readings for, and they're going through difficult times, you know, finding out that, you know, they have to leave their partner and they have children and stuff like that. So, do you have any advice for people out there who are currently in a situation that they know they need to step away from their partner with children?
Yeah.
Any advice at all?
Well, my advice is get out of your ego, stop blaming, and put your children first. In a sense where you don't bring them along for the egotistical ride. They are hurting too, and you have to understand they're hurting. And you need to be gentle with yourselves. Like, this is a big change for everybody. It takes baby steps to have this new experience and dynamic.
Yeah.
And it takes time. Some people, it takes a month. Some people, it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years. It takes time. Be gentle with yourself.
And it honestly depends how long you've been with that person,
right.
First and foremost, too. Like, if you're with someone for 15 years, that's going to take some time to heal.
It takes time, and you know what? To be honest, people jump into other relationships thinking that they will help them and they'll find happiness somewhere else. I'm going to tell you something, people. You're just going to do the same cycle over and over and over again. Until you heal yourself, you will not be able to find happiness from anybody else. You can only find it from within. And if you think that jumping into another relationship is going to help you, no, it won't. It will only make things worse. You are bringing that baggage to this new relationship, and you're dragging your kids along and showing them this new experience.
And that issue is also codependency, everybody. If you follow my channel or other readers, you know that's codependency and that's addiction, and that's not a very healthy way of living. To fill your cup up with other people's love, that's false and that's not real. So also, what do you recommend? That's a really good recommendation to get out of your ego, obviously, for your kids first, but this is a healing process, and there's healing that's needed.
100%.
So if you can give also maybe another recommendation, or maybe even a personal experience, how you started healing while you were going through that rough time and separation.
For sure. I numbed myself for the first year. I'm not going to lie. I numbed myself for the first year. I numbed myself by talking to people and dealing with people that were not good for me. I went out a lot. When I didn't have my daughter, I went out. I numbed myself.
Yep.
100%. Like, that is what I did. I'm not going to lie.
So be patient and be kind to yourself, because, you know, if you do have like addictions and codependency issues, those things will surface for sure.
I had those.
Yeah, and that's what she's referring to.
I had those, and I felt like that is what was going to save me.
Okay.
Until I had my, awakening, dark night of the soul moment.
Yeah.
So there were actually a few things I did. I went to see a therapist. That helped for some little bit of time. But there are a few things that I read that really resonate with me. There is a book called The Power of Vulnerability from Renee Brown.
Okay.
She really talks, she's a researcher, and she researches vulnerability, love, shame, ego. It really talks about being vulnerable. Like, we as a society are not able to be open with our own thoughts and our own feelings. It's hard for us to say, you know what, I'm really not doing well today. Like, I need your help. it's hard for people to do that, right? Or it's hard to say, I've tried my best, I couldn't do it, or I don't like you.
So basically,
I don't like you. Keep stepping.
I don't
like
like you.
Bye. I don't like you. Bye.
It's true. Like, we are conditioned to lie, really, because that's just being in your truth, and that's living in your truth and expressing yourself. So that's true.
So there's a couple more.
Yeah.
I would just want to recommend a few things.
Please.
Because once you do that, then it's a really an aha moment when you listen to the audio, only because she's speaking to a live audience and she gives examples. I would really recommend that. The second thing is I listen to a lot of podcasts from Oprah and Super Soul Sunday.
Yeah.
I really, really love it. Like, she talks to many people who have done research, who has been through awakening, spirituality, like not religion, like just spirituality and open to it.
Don't worry, we don't talk religion on this channel.
I mean, no, religion's fine. Like, everybody has their own niche.
Oh, yes, of course.
I've in every religion. Like, trust, I have found God in every way possible. So there's no discrimination. But what I'm saying is, she doesn't. Super Soul Sunday is not about religion, and I thought it was for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another author, and I'm sorry, I don't know her full name. Her name is Iana. She's on Oprah a lot, and she has this book called Trust.
Yeah.
Now, that one,
she's a very powerful.
That one was the best book, only because it taught me about trust within.
Sorry for the noise, by the way. We are
Mexico, and some seniors just came in. So, hola. Okay.
No tequila.
Maybe after. Maybe. So, anyways, trust within your instinct in yourself, trust in others, the negative ego and what the negative ego does to us. Like, do you know how hard it is for us to even experience joy? Negative ego comes in right away and tries to destroy it. Like, when you are looking at your child sleeping and you think, oh my God, she's so beautiful. What if something happens to her? Like, right away. Like, why can't you just say she's so beautiful, enjoy her, instead of like saying, oh my God, what if something happens to us? And then manifesting is so important. And if you truly put thoughts in the universe, it will come back, people. It will come back.
But stepping on that note, a lot of people think manifesting is just speaking into existence and not doing any work.
Right.
Having to manifest is really about self-mastery. So to touch base on what you said before is that you have to put yourself first. That's the energy that needs to happen to manifest.
And doing the work, meaning reading, studying, learning about yourself. And let me tell you, you have to dig deep. You're going to go through childhood trauma that you never thought you would have to go through to get to self-love.
Yeah.
It is an up and down process. There is suffering in this. I'm telling you right now. But once you do go through the suffering, I am telling you from experience, because I thought I would never be able to get there, it is absolute bliss after, when you truly stand in your own formation.
Yeah, it's literally just living in your truth, and nothing is more beautiful or freeing than that. And like, we can have this type of conversation and just be stupid at the same time, because like,
I'm not stupid.
I mean silly.
I'm just kidding.
I mean stupid, silly, but
I'm stupid.
This is what I'm saying. We can have these type of topics and talk with it like it's nothing, because we are standing. You're looking at two divine feminines standing in their truth, and it took work to get here, and that is a really beautiful thing. But there was a lot of suffering. There was a lot of shadow work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What else do you want to share, like, with everyone in regards to being maybe like a child who's very spiritual?
You mean my daughter being spiritual?
Yeah. Like, what can you share with some? Because I'm going to move on from Anna and then really talk a little bit more about you. Because
honestly, just be open and allow your child to speak their truth. Do not shut them down. And once you do that, they are allowed to speak freely and be honest and vulnerable. And you're raising a child really full of love. And that's all we want, right?
It's true. And it's difficult because I know that some people don't. It's like what's his name? Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. Like, even with your kids, some people don't really like to hear the truth. But unfortunately, well, not even unfortunately, you have to hear your kids out. Like, there's no hiding it. And if you want to heal, you have to take your children with you along to the journey and trust us when we say they will be better in the long run once you do bring them to the healing.
Yeah.
And also with your journey in Ascension and communication and all of that.
For sure.
Because you're going to raise some beautiful souls that way, 100%.
And they're going to help change the world, right?
Children are our future. That's how it
Heal
is.
the world, make it a better place. Okay.
I think I was talking about Whitney, not MJ, but it's okay.
Sorry, that's what came to my head.
I believe the children.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I believe I can fly. But see, we're not on the same path right now.
No,
Clearly.
that's okay. But she has a beautiful voice. I will not sing, but
You have a beautiful voice, too.
So that's really great, and I hope someone resonated with that information. But let's talk a little bit about stepping into purpose and mission. That's my favorite topic in the world. So, darling, when spirit tries to shut you up, you keep pushing, y'all. Let's talk about purpose and mission.
What was that? Oh.
Just trying to be okay. So let's talk about purpose and mission. Let's get closer.
Maybe they'll hear us better?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So let's talk about purpose and mission for you. A lot of people think purpose is one thing. It is definitely not. As we are changing and we're growing and ascending, purpose and mission changes for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
When did you find out your purpose and mission? She loves this. I know. It's the best. This was the best conversation. Who knew 5 years ago we're talking about purpose and mission? It makes us dance in our pants. In our dresses.
Okay.
For real.
Sorry. When did I find out? Probably 2 months ago.
Fantastic. So this is a recent thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a recent thing. It's something that has come to me many times. It's just I didn't believe in it. Many people have told me I didn't believe in it because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know. I didn't have love within myself. I didn't have the power within myself. But I have, I guess, this healing where people feel that they can trust me and so forth. And because I'm learning about the ego, I know that my purpose is to teach those who have gone through what I've gone through and allow them to know that, you may be broken, you may be bruised. Your past does not define you. It may have been traumatic. Trust me, it may have been bad. But you had to go through those steps in order to be where you're meant to be, to help one person. And in my mind, I went through all those things so I can let people know that the hair and the earrings and the makeup is not me. It's not me. I was broken and I'm bruised. But what I am right now is love. And I am hope. And I hope that one day I can inspire a person to heal them and know that they are loved and they belong. And we're in this together.
Very beautiful.
So I do know what my purpose is. I'm not there yet. I have 2 years. I've given myself a goal.
Timing.
And let me tell you, if you don't set a goal, then it's nothing but a dream. So set a goal, people. And
but don't put time limits on your goals. And you could if you want to, but it is divine timing. And as
it is
divine feminines, we know, and divine masculines, please tap in as well, is that we are from the divine. Therefore, there is at work in a higher realm that is in play. And, once you step into things, it's because you're ready, and that means you've done the work. Even though you think we've done, how many years of work? You said 3 years of work plus? For me, plus.
Together.
And then all of a sudden you have a new rebirth moment, and you're like, how did that even happen? So, yes. So 2 months ago. Amazing.
Yeah, 2 months ago, but then the Kundalini Ascension was, I think, less than a month ago.
Yeah.
So
outstanding.
We're getting there, and I never thought I would get there. But again, what you give out to the universe comes right back. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, trust that the universe has something that, has a plan for you. Know that there are steps in life that are difficult.
Yeah.
But you are strong enough to get through it. Trust it. Surrender.
Beautiful. Now, I have so many questions, and I don't know what to. I think I want to ask you, what do you think?
I'll just
at
drink.
This current moment in time. Let me think about it because I'm getting channeling. Patience is needed. A drink. What do you think, the current moment in time, that your purpose is as a divine feminine in the collective?
Excuse me.
See, this is why I have to slow it down, because I have, I talk a certain way, and I realize, that doesn't make sense to her. Maybe it didn't make sense at all. Maybe I'm talking my language. At this current moment in time,
Yes.
as a divine feminine
Yeah.
in the collective,
Yes.
what do you think your purpose is at this current moment in time?
My current, right now,
Yeah.
is to trust and surrender.
Okay.
Is not what you were looking for.
No, I have literally, listen, I have no expectations. Like, this is the beauty of a spiritual journey. There's no wrong or right answer at all.
The thing is, I'm in this journey right now for myself, right?
Yeah.
And my purpose right now is to be my true, authentic self.
Okay.
And to trust that the universe is going to give me the signs I need
Yeah.
to get through to my purpose. And the thing is, I just realized what my purpose is. In order to get there, I need to work at it.
And what is it?
I
You don't want to share it.
I don't want to share it yet.
That's
And
fine.
sorry.
See, that's why I was like,
So that's why I've been trying to walk around it, because the thing is, I don't want to share it yet because I'm not ready to be there yet.
okay, that's fair.
Is that okay?
Listen, of course it is.
It better
like,
be, because I wasn't going to share it. But I mean, so thank you for the question. I'm sorry, but I just feel like I'm not there yet.
Like I said, babe, there's no right or wrong answer in this journey because, again, you're living your truth, and that's what it's about. And, you know, if you don't feel like if you still feel like you're healing, then that makes sense. Like, how can you even be there when you're still trying to, you know, physically be there? Because, you know, we have this 3D reality, our 4D, our 5D, and higher. So I get it. It's fine. It's beautiful. I do have a question, though. Do you have something that you want to read during this?
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's
Where
really,
is it, though?
It's on my phone. I will read it.
What is it about?
So, Renee Brown writes this parenting manifesto.
Okay.
And it's something that's really beautiful. It's something that I've actually put on my wall, and I read it to Anna every week.
Okay, I know what this is.
And I wanted to share it with you guys because you told me the title just a few hours ago.
This morning.
And I know that this resonated with me so much that I felt like I needed to share it with everybody.
Okay.
Because it kind of actually now repeats what you had just asked me. And just another quick question or quick point. When you asked me what my purpose was, and this is what I want to let everybody know, because this is something that I've learned to do too. If you're not comfortable answering something, you're allowed to say no. And
I say no.
I said no. No. Now that comes from self-love, because some people do things because they feel like they need to. But I just wanted to make that point that I am not comfortable or ready, and I said no, which would have been something that was hard for me to do in the past.
See?
Just want to make that point.
And art of transformation.
Thank you. So would you like me to read it now?
Please, because we're running out of time.
Okay, let me hurry up. And I'm sorry, it's something so beautiful. And please keep in mind, it is a little long.
I hope so.
But it is worth it. So
I will sit back and let you do your thing.
So just to let you all know, this is from Brene Brown, and it is the Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto. And this is what I read to Anna every week. Here we go.
Such a great mom. Such a great mom.
Above all else, I want you to know that you are loved and lovable. You will learn this from my words and my actions. The lessons on love are in how I treat you and how I treat myself. Mm-hmm. I want you to engage with the world from a place of worthiness. You will learn that you are worthy of love, belonging, and joy every time you see me. Practice self-compassion and embrace my own imperfection. We will practice courage in our family by showing up, letting ourselves be sad, and honoring our vulnerability. We will share our stories of struggle and strength. There will always be room in our hearts and our home for both. We will teach you compassion by practicing compassion with ourselves first, then with each other. We will set the respect of boundaries. We will honor hard work, hope, and perseverance, rest and play, and we will have family values as well as family practices. You will learn accountability and respect by watching me make mistakes and make amends to it, and by watching how I ask for what I need to talk about and how I feel. I want you to know joy, so together we will practice gratitude. I want you to feel joy, so together we will learn how we can be vulnerable. As you begin your wholehearted journey, the greatest gift that I can give to you is to live and love with my whole heart and to dare greatly. I will not teach you or love or show you anything perfectly, but I will let you see me, and I will always hold sacred the gift of seeing you, truly, deeply seeing you.
Well, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Isn't
And
it?
what does she feel like when she hears that? Or what's her energy like?
She just knows I see her, and she knows that she is wanted and loved and respected, and she knows I will show up for her every single day.
So
and
beautiful.
that's how she feels. She feels love, unconditional love.
That's beautiful. That really is.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a couple words that keep standing out. One is vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is vulnerability to you?
Vulnerability to me is being open, honest, and authentic. Meaning, I am able to speak my truth, even if it may make me feel embarrassed or shy. And putting those feelings like of shame or regret aside, being open.
And what does gratitude mean to you?
Gratitude.
This is fast questions with Michelle.
Gratitude is just being thankful for what I have been given, truly and deeply through my heart and soul.
And what is love to you?
Love.
Love. L-O-V-E, love.
Love is my religion. It is what keeps me going every single day. No matter what happens in life, I will still have love and trust and hope that there will be changes in the world to save this world, and the only way to do it is through love.
Now, I want to finish off by you looking in the camera.
Oh my God! Can I put my sunglasses on, please?
No,
this is what's
watch,
gonna
guys.
happen. Oh,
Get
God,
rid of
help
all
me.
this. She doesn't know anything. We
No,
didn't
I
prep
don't.
for this, by the way.
I don't.
Clearly.
I don't know anything. Oh
I
my
want
God.
you to look at the camera. And I want you to list 3 things that you are grateful for at this current moment in time.
Okay. I am grateful for my journey. I'm grateful for the family and loved ones who are around me. And I am thankful for love.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I am grateful for you and your journey. I think it's such an amazing journey. It's funny how connected we actually are. And it's really beautiful to see your ascension and your growth. By the way, if you don't know, she's older than me.
There is no age, honey. It's just a number.
But what I'm trying to say,
I'm darker than you, so. Sorry, we've been having tanning competitions. I am older than you. Is that a problem? Why do you have to say that?
I just want to say
That's shame right there.
No, what I want to say is that I just wanted to be joking with
I
that.
am.
You're so serious today. I need
I'm
you to
just
be more
playing.
loose. I thought we're going to be more loose in the goose. But
I am loose in the goose.
there she goes. There it is. But what I was going to say is that, like, your journey is really beautiful. It's really
Thanks,
beautiful
baby
to
girl.
watch.
Thank you.
And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Because, it's not an easy journey. And I know also being a single mom, it's also very challenging. And, like, honestly, I couldn't, I probably could if I had to. But because I don't have to, I'm just, like, very in awe of you. And
Thank you.
I wish for a lot for you, which people don't need to know. We'll talk about in a second. But I wish for you for the best in life and happiness.
Thank you.
To see the confidence that this goddess has. We're doing a photo shoot after too, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should go. Divides Purpose.
You should.
I do some fun stuff there, but also a lot of card readings. But yes, I'm very, 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 very grateful for you, and I love you so much.
I love you so much. And wait, before I go, or you go, because this is your thing, I am proud of you. 3 years ago, we came here together, and Michelle told me to talk to the water. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to say to the water, girl? But we started this together, and as a single mom, I have to tell you, I can't do this alone. And without you and your love and your support and your encouragement and your guidance, like, I wouldn't be here without you. I'm so proud of you. You're in your conviction into your purpose, into your place of hope and love and inspiration. And anybody that isn't following her, you best go follow her, because she's got some fly booty shots on that Instagram post. But not only that, it is true.
Oh my God.
But not only that, guys, listen, like, she is in her calling. She has a gift like no other. And when she does readings for me, she does give me hope, and she heals me. She heals me because she does give me the recognition, love, and hope that I need to get through to the next step. So I am so proud of you, and you are beautiful inside that shines through your outside. And
Thank you. And I love you too. And that's the beauty of Ascension and healing, because we all were given gifts. Like I said, we are all humans. We are all spiritual beings living a human experience. Therefore, before we were conditioned and living in this matrix, we do all have gifts. And I am so happy and proud to see yours just flourish. Like, it's coming, guys. So wait for it. She might have a YouTube channel soon.
Maybe.
Lord knows her daughter will.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's that. So thank you so much. I love you.
I love you.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if you have any comments. Press like if you like, and share with the people who you think this might resonate with. And again, we might have Rima back on, probably yes, and talk a little bit more, depending on what the feedback is. Because I think it's really important that we have a conversation about this in regards to having children as well. Anything else you want to say to the people?
Just remember, everybody, be kind with one another. We're all going through ups and downs. We are human. So when you leave a comment, be kind and spread some love. And I hope that this resonated with somebody. And if it did, please let us know, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.
Namaste.
Namaste. Adios.